Zuma's daughter heads to trial over July unrest incitement charges. Auditor-General slams police over 650 million rand in irregular spending. And train horror in the UK, suspect charged with 11 attempted murders after knife attack. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
The daughter of former President Jacob Zuma will stand trial from next week for her alleged involvement in the 2021 July unrest. Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla is charged with incitement to commit terrorism and incitement to commit public violence. The charges are linked to the unrest that led to widespread looting and left public infrastructure in KwaZulu-Natal and parts of Gauteng damaged. The state alleges that Zuma-Sambudla used social media platforms to spur on the looting by sharing some of the incidents caught on video with the caption, "We see you." The trial is set down for 2 weeks from the 10th to the 21st of November in the Durban High Court. The Auditor-General has flagged 650 million rand in irregular spending by the South African Police Force this year. Most of it stems from procurement failures, including payments for services never delivered. The AG says SAP's audit outcomes have worsened with unused equipment and unimplemented projects among the red flags.
Because of the Department of Police, they have the bigger budget and they are the biggest contributor in terms of this area. I think I'd like to just reflect on the fact that about 650 million of irregular expenditure was disclosed by Department of Police in the current year.
The Madlanga Commission has heard fresh testimony about the controversial arrest of alleged cartel figure Katiso Katie Molefe at his Sandton home. A Gauteng traffic police pilot told the inquiry he was asked by the Hawks to hover over Molefe's house during the operation after being told there were bogus cops on the scene. Later today, Hawks warrant officer Sabelo Nkosi testified that his tactical unit was diverted from an assignment in the northwest to verify whether the Sandton raid was legitimate. When he arrived, he found it was, in fact, a legitimate police operation.
To me, that area where the address is, we do have local police station there. And then if it was such an agency, because compared to me driving, because when I opened the GPS to that particular address, it was 60-something kilometers. I don't think that there is an area or a suburb where the police station that is more than 20 kilometers away.
Reiger Park residents are demanding action after a mass shooting left 6 people dead and 3 injured. Suspects in 2 vehicles opened fire on a group on Saturday night.
Another man down.
Police Commissioner Fani Masimola has promised extra officers to fast-track the investigation, but residents say they're tired of empty promises.
Prevention is better than cure. More visibility of policing, but capacitation of law enforcement for them to be in a position to push back against criminality, to push back against organized crime. And we must also say that some of these criminals, we live with them in our communities. We know exactly what is it that they are doing, but probably we don't have the audacity and the zeal enough to stand up against this.
Higher Education Minister Buti Manamela has met with outgoing NSFAS board chair Dr. Karen Stander following her resignation. In her letter to the minister, Stander cited bullying, intimidation, racism and threats to her safety. Manamela says he's deeply concerned by the seriousness of the claims and will study the details before deciding on further action. The Higher Education Department has confirmed that a separate meeting with the full NSFAS board will still go ahead on Wednesday. President Cyril Ramaphosa and leaders of the Government of National Unity are meeting at the Cradle of Humankind for a 2-day retreat aimed at ironing out tensions within the coalition. The talks come during growing friction over decision-making and accusations that the ANC dominates the unity government. The retreat is being held behind closed doors with no formal agenda released, but discussions are expected to focus on policy alignment, budgeting, and how the coalition will function going forward. Officials say the aim is to strengthen cooperation ahead of a challenging year for service delivery and the economy.
The hush-hush closed-door meeting follows complaints from some political leaders that they have not been meeting often enough. They've now resolved to do so regularly to provide strategic political direction to the work of the GNU. Political leaders say they've also discussed ethical leadership in the criminal justice system. This comes against the backdrop of 2 inquiries into political corruption currently underway. Furthermore, the GNU party leaders have committed to improving oversight and coordination of state-owned enterprises and setting minimum standards for board appointments. Illegal immigration and strengthening border management also featured on the agenda. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
The Gauteng High Court has ruled in favour of the city of Johannesburg, directing the Metro to accelerate the process of verifying and registering informal traders. The Socioeconomic Rights Institute of South Africa had taken the Metro to court after it removed traders operating illegally or outside designated areas. During the proceedings, Seri argued the traders were treated unfairly and that their rights to trade and earn a living had been violated. But Judge Brad Wanless has ruled the Metro is required to enforce bylaws while verifying all informal traders in Johannesburg.
The first respondent, the City of Johannesburg, is to conduct an expedited verification, registration, re-registration and allocation process. The process as contemplated by the informal trading bylaws. The process shall commence on the 4th of November 2025 and shall be completed by no later than the 18th of November 2025.
At least 11 people have been injured in a mass knife attack on a train in England. Witnesses described chaos as a man armed with a knife began stabbing passengers at random. A train guard is being held a hero after stepping in to protect a woman. He suffered life-threatening wounds. The train driver made an emergency stop to get help, and police used a taser to subdue the suspect, who reportedly shouted, "Kill me," as officers closed in. The man is now in custody and investigators are still trying to determine his motive. Back in SA, with the festive season approaching, beachgoers are being warned to behave responsibly across Western Cape beaches. 8 beaches have earned blue flag status for top water quality and safety, including Camps Bay, Clifton Fourth, Muizenberg, Fishhook and Bikini Beach. City MMC Francine Higham urged parents to watch children closely and reminded adults that swimming under the influence is banned. Lifeguards will be on duty and the city's urging everyone to follow safety rules. That's it from me, Jane Dutton. Thanks for watching.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.